Good morning. Good morning. Still a good morning because God is good.
Amen.
My name is Celia. I'm Joey, his wife, from the Philippines, where beautiful ladies come from. We met online in March 2017 via a Christian dating site. I was about to close my account there after heartbreak with someone, and I'd said enough. It was now the Lord will determine who He would want for me. But on my page, right when I opened, there was a very handsome man with a killer smile on his profile picture. I got curious to read his profile because it was strange for me to see such a good-looking person would join such site. So I read his profile and found most of it to be about Jesus and how he saved him. I saw his tattoo, with a cross tattoo, saying Galatians 2:20 was written on it, which was also tattooed in India. I got interested and messaged him. My first question was, "Are you interested in missions?" And he said yes, and that his church constantly prays for missionaries. We started from there, and then he created a Facebook account and added me there. Since then, we talked every day, morning and nighttime. We've used almost all of the chat applications that you would ever know. Messenger, Viber, Emo, WhatsApp, GSM, and even the old-fashioned writing letters, postmail. My impression about him and how I fell in love. He talked a lot in those times. The reason why it was easy for me to get to know him and easy to research and to do some background checks too. He never lied. And mostly we talked about God and our relationship with him. We talked about doctrines and we sometimes get into debates, both of us. And he caught himself, in debates he caught himself into sometimes. He talked about his family, his daughter, his mom, his church, his family, and his longtime friends. He loved to read his Bible and listen to worship songs and share them to me, and we would sing together. I fell in love more to Jesus because of him and his testimony. I said this man will have a powerful testimony to be able to reach out and help other people, especially the youth who had the same struggles with him. With my Bible school students who died because of drug overdose during their vacations, I see my students just dropping dead left and right because of this sickness. After a month, he said he liked me and eventually we became in a relationship. Looking at the story of his past, the love and compassion and eagerness for me to partner with him kept growing, so I kept praying to God that he would make way for us to meet and be together if it was his will. In the last couple of months of 2017, he confessed that he used drugs again. I didn't know how to react, so I scolded him a little. He got upset, saying, "Celia, I don't need your scolding right now. I need your understanding." Back then, I didn't know how to deal with it yet. December 27, 2017, I was on my knees praying and crying to the Lord that he would save him and deliver him from this sickness and keep him alive for the sake of his son, in whom his name may be glorified. That was also the day he did something wrong, but thankfully God gave him another chance to live. Joey, as maybe most of us in this room, if not all of us, know he was a very gentle man, so sweet and loving. He always think about other people and the people that he loved, and how he could make them happy, and by meeting their needs. He got a little from here and there, and he didn't know how to handle them with all with little empty space left on his cup. He was a cup with very little empty space left for stress, for sadness, for anger, for everything. He had very little space for patience, endurance, forgiveness, especially for himself. When he knew he keeps disappointing his family, his friends, his brothers and sisters in the Lord, his pastor, and me. He always kept saying, "It's killing me when I see you cry. But I like to cry. That's my way of getting rid of the emotions." But just like any man, he always wanted to be Superman for everyone who loves, and felt frustrated when he couldn't. He was a funny man too, and I say sometimes because he sometimes did some silly face with silly words and funny sounds that sometimes I don't find funny, but and then after that, and I know that everyone knows this kind of laugh. I'm so funny. And that's the time that I would laugh. That's the funny part. In about a year of attending church together with him, I saw how much he was loved and how much he loves people in this church. He kept saying, "This is my church, so this is going to be your church too. They are our family. You didn't have to go anywhere. If at times we argue and you need to talk to someone, contact any of these people and you will be fine. Never go anywhere else." He loves to listen to worship songs, and at times I saw him lifting up his hands while singing and sobbing at the same time, being thankful that as sinful as he was, the Lord still continues to reach out to him and extend his love to the people. For most times, he was very sweet, thoughtful, and protective. I always felt secure being with him. He would send sweet messages of love and Bible verses he thought would encourage me at whatever time of the day. At times when he finds things are difficult for him and he wanted to make me happy by doing something or buying some stuff or driving me somewhere we could just relax and be alone together. He felt frustrated because he didn't have the means, and he felt guilty because he wanted to make sure I was happy with him. So most of the time we would just stay at home and watch movies together or watch his favorite channel on YouTube with the guys building log cabin, or the ones where they do outdoor activities such as fishing, hunting, shooting, cooking. We both love to eat and try different kinds of foods. He loves sushi and everything that's Italian foods. When he knew I was tired, he would offer to do things I normally do for us, such as laundry, taking out the garbage, serving me with vitamins, making breakfast, etc. When he did these things, he feels proud of himself, and he always wants to hear my appreciation. Joey is a son and grandson. He was a very loving and thoughtful son and grandson. He did everything he could do to help his family and make sure they're okay. No matter what caused him to feel stressed out or upset, he always was the one who would initiate reconciliation and express love to people he knew he must have offended. It wasn't hard for him to say, "I am sorry, I apologize," which is difficult for us sometimes, but it wasn't for him. And it wasn't awkward for him to say, "I love you," to his parents, to his grandma, to his sister, to his brother-in-law, to his church family, and to his friends. There were times that he struggled and felt going back to his old ways when in his flesh was the best way to get rid of these negative feelings and sickness. Anything could be a stimulus and could trigger, and one person couldn't just help him. He always longed to see and be with his daughter. He missed his friend who was like a brother to him, who kept telling the only one in his life who could understand how exactly he felt. Saul meant so much and had a big part of his heart. He loved me and had no doubt about it. At times he would say that I was the best thing that happened in his life, and that sometimes he felt that he was the Lord and us against the world. And he didn't want to go through all this in life with anyone else but me. Yet I know his love for his daughter, for his friend, and it had a big part of his heart. Each was a different kind of love that no one could satisfy, not even me, except Jesus. Because he is everything. Only him could fill all the voids and emptiness that only enjoys life, but for all of us. Not only enjoys life, but for all of us as well. He was a man who needed a lot of forgiveness. even forgiveness from himself and for himself. He always tried to have a normal married life by having our own place. We tried working things out one by one. Each single errand was a battle for us. We won, we failed. He kept asking me to do things one day at a time. Here is where I struggled because I got used to do literally up to 4 things at a time. And sometimes I forgot that he could only handle 1 or even less than 1 at a time. I guess married men and women can relate to this part. Women are multitaskers. Plus, that his perspective of the future was very limited. He seemed to focus more on the present, which was all about endurance. He didn't see the positive outcome beyond just what he was seeing at the present and feeling at the present. That's where I usually come in to encourage him, lift him up in prayer, and tell him all the good things about him and the things he did. The last time he struggled and he failed was that I told him, I know that you're overwhelmed right now by the people, reaching out to you, trying to help you, and you don't want to. I know that you are guilty. I know that you're disappointed. I know that you're angry at yourself. But I'm here for you. If you couldn't see anything right now, if you don't understand, or if you don't want to hear anything because you are stressed out, I'm here for you. I'm your set of brain, your other set of brains, your other pair of eyes, your other set of hands and legs to do this for you. We are one. I am yours. You can't remind me. Although our movement was a little slow, but we were indeed moving forward. He kept reminding me to be more patient with him, as God wasn't finished with him yet. He would say, my love, you just knew me in my old life. I doubt if you'd even bother to get near me. But keep this in mind that I may not be the person that I am supposed to be right now, but I'm not the person I used to be anymore. I said, all those experiences you had in your life were all part of God's plan. You may not understand it, but He will unfold them to you. And you will see that His thoughts and ways are higher than yours. And He would say, yes, you're right. He's a sovereign God. But while we are on this earth, which is ruled by sin and evil, we must continue fighting the good fight of faith. Jesus said, in the world you will have tribulation, but take heart. I have overcome the world. Yeah. Our dreams include having our own space, invite people in our house to our Bible studies and fellowship, go travel freely, have a child, raise them in the ways of the Lord, and ultimately go for missions to speak to young people, encourage them to follow the right path, and not even try doing things He did to Himself, to preach to them the hope in Jesus and eternal life He is giving to those who repent from their sins and follow Him. I know we are all sad right now. No words, as people say, no words could ever be spoken to me right now to take away the pain. But my consolation is that my husband is not here with us, but he is with the Lord. He doesn't even bother to look back. He's so happy and so preoccupied worshiping the Lord that he won't bother whatever we do here for him. The Lord took him before he goes further down the path and before everybody else would suffer because of him. So my consolation is that he is there in the place where there's no more torment, torture, physically, mentally, emotionally for him. He's free, like what we've said. He was a prisoner, now he's not. I just want to read some of the verses that he truly kept in his heart. Colossians 1:15-17. He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things are created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions. or rulers, or authorities. All things were created through him and for him, and he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. This has always been the ultimate truth in all the universe. Joey may have lived 41 years and a half of his life, but it was only a very tiny dot part of the eternity. His life on earth must have finished, but he has began his eternity with Jesus, his Savior and Lord, which was what he always wanted. You know, when he was sad, when he struggled, he would say, "Oh, Lord, I wish you could take me now." His flesh may have struggled and defeated. His death might be such a great loss and brought sadness to us all. But in my heart, the Lord loved him so much that he had to save him from the devil that tormented his flesh. Jesus brought him victory for his glory. In him we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of our trespasses, according to the riches of his grace. Galatians 2:20, that was tattooed on his arm, says, "I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ in me. In the life I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me." I would like to read more, but what I want to say is that the seed must die. Why does it have to take someone's life to go before all of us could gather together, for him? Jesus died for our sins. He was the seed that was being planted to us, that was planted to Joey, so that more lives will grow out from that seed, out of that seed. Joey's life has now become a seed for all of us, that through him we hear the word of God, and that a new life will grow in our hearts and live with him for eternity. God bless you all. Thank you very much once again for coming.